You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Hedge funder makes ludicrous 2028 forecast after White House insiders flag major shakeup by David McAfee. A widely followed hedge funder over the weekend made a ludicrous forecast for the 2028 presidential race based on information he got about a Trump team shakeup from his White House sources. Doug Cass, president of Seabreeze Partners Management in Palm Beach, Florida, took to social media on Saturday to divulge what he has learned from his sources inside the White House. According to Cass, it can be simplified into 4 words: Vance out, Rubio in. He then added that the info came in directly from my sources in the administration. The president's allegiance to Vance is waning and Rubio is becoming his fair-haired boy, he added. Ludicrous forecast. Rubio, not Vance, will be the 2028 Republican presidential candidate. Another conservative commentator, Fox correspondent Charles Gasparino, disagreed with the purported sources. Yeah, that source doesn't understand Trump. He's a fickle guy and the flavor of the month now might not be in a week or a month, Gasparino wrote. Plus he likes both Marco and JD. The bigger story is the White House being divided into factions over the Iran conflict, with Rubio being a hawk and Vance being on the other side. Trump chose the Rubio wing for now, but that could change, particularly if the war doesn't go well. Vance out, Rubio in. From my sources in the administration, the president's allegiance to Vance is waning and Rubio is becoming his fair-haired boy. Ludicrous forecast. Rubio, not Vance, will be the 2028 Republican presidential candidate. At Doug Cass at Tom Keene at Business Stoogie Cass at Doug Cass March 7, 2026.
Our analysis, analyzing the predictive pandemonium in presidential politics. In the swirling vortex of political speculation, Doug Cass, president of Seabreeze Partners Management, has thrown a rather peculiar prediction into the mix concerning the 2028 presidential race. Cass, who apparently enjoys close enough ties to the White House to claim insider information, suggests a significant shakeup in the Trump team lineup. Vance out, Rubio in. This bold prediction, based on whispers from the corridors of power, deserves a thorough dissection for its potential implications and inherent absurdity. The source of the storm. Firstly, the reliance on unnamed sources within the administration raises immediate red flags about the veracity of Cass's claim. While insider information is the bread and butter of political journalism, the lack of specificity here invites skepticism. Cass boldly asserts that Marco Rubio is now the golden boy of the moment, overshadowing The Vance, based solely on these nebulous whispers. The fickle nature of political favor. Charles Gasparino, a seasoned conservative commentator, injects a healthy dose of reality into this speculative frenzy. Gasparino highlights Trump's notorious unpredictability and the transient nature of political favor, especially under a figure as mercurial as Trump. This observation alone should give pause to anyone taking Cass's forecast at face value. The political landscape, particularly within the Trump orbit, is as stable as quicksand, rendering any long-term predictions particularly ludicrous. The factional fight and foreign policy. The underlying narrative of a White House divided into factions over the Iran conflict adds a layer of complexity to this tale. With Rubio cast as the hawk and Vance as the dove, the dynamic within Trump's circle resembles less a well-oiled machine and more a gladiatorial arena. The notion that Rubio's current favor is tied to this hawkish stance on Iran and potentially subject to change based on the conflict's outcomes illustrates the precariousness of political alliances and the folly of basing presidential predictions on them. Conclusion: a ludicrous forecast indeed. In sum, Doug Cass's prediction for the 2028 Republican presidential candidate, based on so-called insider information, ventures far into the realm of the absurd. It underscores not only the unpredictable nature of Trump's allegiances, but also the futility of attempting to forecast political developments years in advance in such a volatile environment. The only certainty in this saga is the uncertainty itself. Political predictions, especially those claiming insider insight, should always be taken with a hefty grain of salt. The case of Vance out, Rubio in serves as a perfect exemplar of the hazards of hitching one's analytical wagon to the star of political favoritism within the tempestuous Trump administration. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Ross Story for today's article, with the automated voices of Amy and Ryan. Thanks for listening.